Hi there, my name is Blake, and welcome to Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast. Per usual, I have just a quick note before we get started. This is a short bonus episode, so if you haven't listened to our show yet, I would strongly suggest that you hit that pause button and go back to the beginning, to Season 1, to the prologue to Anna Moya, so you can get a sense of what we typically do here. But if you're not an All-American Ruins newbie, hey there. I'm in the middle of production on Season 2, which comes out in September, and I cannot wait to show you what we've been up to. In the meantime, I've been releasing various bonus episodes between now and September so that your abandoned RSS feed doesn't go stale. Collaborations with cool organizations like History Colorado, personal songwriting diaries inspired by various abandoned buildings I've explored, or episodes like this one, an interview with another urbexer who is adding his unique voice to the community through the power of technology and crowdsourcing. Now, as you know, Abandoned is part of the larger All-American Ruins multiverse, a multimedia travelogue where I recount my experiences exploring abandoned spaces across the United States and reimagine them via written, photographic, audio, and cinematic storytelling. When I first joined this community, I wanted to find a way to offer my voice to a robust neighborhood filled with photographers, videographers, choreographers, dancers, models, graffiti artists and activists, architects, preservationists, creative geniuses, who, in one way or another, all share the same passion, a deep spiritual connection to abandoned spaces. In her unofficial Urbex Manifesto, A Field Guide to Getting Lost, author Rebecca Solnit states that a city is built to resemble a conscious mind, a network that can calculate, administrate, manufacture. Ruins become the unconscious of a city, its memory unknown darkness, lost lands, and in this, truly bring it to life. In honor of that verse, I'd like to introduce you to Maxime, the founder of the Abandoned World app, a crowdsourcing platform for urbexers to find unique locations to explore. Months ago, I interviewed Maxime for my weekly radio program, The Pfeil File, on Radio Kingston, WKNY, AM 1490, FM 1079 in Kingston, New York, where I also record this podcast. We discussed the balancing act of sharing location information, teetering between safety and protection for urbexers, as well as information equitability, and how that looks amongst explorers. Abandoned World opens up a realm of possibilities for newbies to the community. So, I hope that you enjoy this conversation with Maxime Gerbe, founder of Abandoned World, available for Apple and Android downloads at itsabandoned.com. Radio Kingston, welcome back to the Pfeil File. I'm super excited. Joining me is Maxime Gerbe, who is the founder of the Abandoned World app. He's joining me all the way from France. So, Maxime, welcome to the Pfeil File.
Hey there. Hi, Blake. Thanks for inviting me to your show.
Oh, of course. I was so excited when I came across the app. I guess this is maybe 6 months ago, but just to give folks a little bit of background, many of the listeners to this program know that I've been working on All-American Ruins, and during the first initial phase of research back 2 years ago, I found it quite difficult to discover locations because, a lot of the time when visiting these abandoned spaces, it might be considered trespassing. And so once I happened upon the Abandoned World app, I was really impressed with it because it's crowdsourcing, which I love. So I'd like you to tell folks a little bit about how you decided to build the app and how it all got started.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, same for me. The mission behind it is to bring joy and to bring fascination with our urban past building, past to the story that's behind. And I think I always enjoyed historical facts and bring back memories. And I want to trigger a bit this the imagination and the discovery around our own surrounding. So let's bring back a bit how did it all started, the story of the Abandoned World app. It was some years ago, 2-3 years ago, that I got a bit tired with scrolling through the items of my classic social media and classic item that I'm food, cat item, and I would call that the classic Instagram and Facebook algorithm. And yeah, I was actually interested in going out to discover new places by myself around me. And yeah, I didn't get this feed of locations of I got indeed locations, but that was the mainstream location, that was public places that everyone knows, and nothing is wrong with that. But those mainstream places, they were not really exciting for me. They didn't really trigger the fascination, and I could not also really learn on the much from the historical point of view. So I started to get even more interested in visiting old businesses, visiting old buildings, and which were quite with easy access. Yeah, and I went to some, like probably you, Blake. Yeah, I went to some groups online. I went to some to get to know some locations, to get some information with my friends, also to get some ideas. But quickly I run out of places, and those places, most of the time, they were not updated. And yeah, that's how I decided to create the app, and that's how the project got kickstarted.
It's such an interesting concept. And, one of the things that I found myself running into a lot was the elusiveness of people providing information. I think there is this notion that the community wants to protect itself, which is part of it, and I understand that. But I also found there was this unwillingness to help other people who also shared similar interests. And to me, what is so exciting about the community are the people who are willing to share information and the people who are interested in also providing the joy that you mentioned to other folks who share the same interests, And there's not a lot of us out there, but considering the topic, there's a good number of people. We're looking at a crowdsourcing app. What are some of the challenges that you've come across in that regard?
Yeah, so being part of a community is awesome. I love the feeling of getting help. I love that other people give me some information, and that's indeed not everyone that desire to do that, to help. So I struggle always a bit to finding good content. I struggle to find the most updated information. Let's say I want to go to a certain castle which is close by my house next weekend, and then how do I know if this place still exists? How do I know the history behind it? Who owned the place? And how do I know how I can if it's legal to go to this place? How can I get in touch with the owner to this place? So it's mostly it's information that I would miss there, and I got really surprised with making this project of the Abandoned World app. It was that people were willing to help me in this, and the community they were willing to help me, and I wanted to contribute, to give back that information, first of all, to my friends, to get them, hey, you can also go there, I've been there, it's quite safe. I had a good experience. I shared some pictures to show them a bit how the place was, and yeah, the community loved that feedback, I think.
Yeah, I love that. I'm not a tech person at all. I have, pretty minimal experience in technology. So I'm interested to learn about the process of building an app in general, what you go through, kind of the steps, and will you continue to update it as you move forward?
Yeah, so the project was really simple. When I was very ashamed of releasing the project in the beginning, I also did not want to show it really to my friends, because it was basically just a map with those black points on it. So that was not really that interesting and that fancy, I would say. Something was really clear, that from the community, I didn't want to bring spam to the people. So I needed to find a way to filter the information before it get public to the community. And for that, I created a system that that gets reviewed. So I created a very simple system that every update, every change into the database got reviewed and got approved. And if that really makes sense for the community to give back to the community, I will give you an example. Some people are updating the good to know, or maybe it's not well labeled, that they are updating the good to know, and they are putting comments like, "Oh, awesome! I was there last weekend. Oh, cool! Love that place." And for the next explorer, like that could be you, and that doesn't really give much information, but let's say something more substantial, like you can contact the owner with this address, or you can go to my profile, and then we can get in touch to enter in contact with the owner. That's more interesting information to get. So technically, yeah. So there was this. You can think of having a mobile app. It's just a normal mobile application using a very modern technology stack. If you can think of Facebook, what the stack that they are using is very similar to what I do. And you can also think, so there is this review system, the second point, the review system, which is in place, and it's basically it's a lot of hours, nights working on the project itself. Nothing too fancy there.
When you were growing up, do you remember the first time that you realized that you had this interest in old buildings and abandoned spaces?
Good question. I remember when I grew up, when I went out with my parents in the nature, I was feeling kind of bored, like walking into the woods, and I didn't really find it interesting. And I remember that when we were going outside into the outdoor, I was always kind of searching some places of where humans could have been, picnicking, or where humans could have been living. Like you can think of a shelter, old wooden houses, and I was kind of searching for those places, and that sparked some curiosity. That sparked the curiosity at that time. So I would associate this feeling of searching those places back in the days.
Yeah, I remember the first time. Well, you've listened to my podcast. There was an abandoned dairy farm down the hill from my house, and it was an extraordinary feeling, getting to go into those ruins and feel like I was really time traveling, in essence. So folks who might be interested in looking at the app, how can they get involved? How can they support you?
Supporting me, of course, is it's financially creating an app and delivering an app on multiple platform, having this review system, having the storage is, of course, there is a financially part of it that can be taken in account. And of course, they can buy me some coffees. So the folks can buy me some coffees to help me at night to stay awake and to continue the updating, working on the app. You can also contribute simply by finding a spot around your house that's not on the map. I would say that could be the most fun to do. Like, some places, but it's not yet in the app. Be the first one on the market to update the map and put your own spot. That's always fun, and that always sparks joy to me. Also just by if you don't have the financial means, like me when I started, simply just share with your friends. Hey, did you know that we can go explore some abandoned places next weekend together, and share this thing with your group of friends? Hey guys, let's go discover some places around and take some pictures and get to know a bit how the society works and what happened to those places. Trigger a bit some questions around. That's always nice.
Maxime, how can folks find the app?
So the app is on both for Android, iOS. You can find them on the store with Abandoned World app, Abandoned World, and there is of course a website, but most of the content is into the app because I don't have time to do the website. And yeah, I would say please go outside of the beaten track, go outside of the mainstream, and discover what the world is around you.
Awesome. Well, Maxime, thank you so much for joining me on the program tonight. It's been a pleasure, and can't wait to keep seeing what happens next with the app.
Cool. Thanks for having me tonight. There will be a lot of coming out in the future. I will think of emphasizing different type of explorer that we are, because some people are more they like to watch, some people are more exploring, like going out. So there will be some features like this coming up, and of course making the usability in general better and the UX better. So yeah, I'm open to feedback. You can reach me with by email. You can leave a review on the store, and we can get in touch quickly like that. Thanks for having me, Blake. Have a good day.
If you're just tuning in, I have been joined by Maxime Gerbe, who is the founder of the Abandoned World app, which you can head over to either the Google Play and or Apple App Store to check that out and download it. It's a free download, and make sure you send him a coffee in the process. If you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome to this special bonus episode of Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast. In Season 1, join me as I take you on immersive sonic journeys, recounting my expeditions of abandoned spaces across the United States, which I transform into fantastical audio experiences that allow you, dear listener, to dive into my imagination with me, or maybe inspire you to go out and use your own. If you don't want to miss it, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And I will ask gracefully that you rate and review the show on those two specific platforms. And thank you so much to everyone who has sent such lovely reviews and emails and DMs that keep this show's momentum moving forward. And just so you know, this podcast is part of a larger multimedia project called All American Ruins, which features the original blog as well as episodes from the Hudsey TV series adaptation, plus other ways to interact. So if you like to read, watch TV, or enjoy amateur photography, you can catch up on more of my adventures at allamericanruins.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at allamericanruins. Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast, is hosted, written, edited, and produced by me, Blake File, with studio space courtesy of Radio Kingston, WKNY, AM 1490, FM 1079 in Kingston, New York. Special thanks to Ida Hakala, Jimmy Buff, and Manuel Blas for the mentorship and encouragement. Maxime Gerbe, founder of Abandoned World, for sharing his brilliant Urbex crowdsourcing app with us today. And to you, the listener, for taking the time to explore these abandoned spaces with me.